Rand Paul, so concerned with government waste, has his employees or himself, incidentally, he gets paid by the taxpayers. I just want you to know this.
Oh, so this is their money going to good use.
Yes. He'll complain about a study about the owls in, whatever, in Washington State or something like that, that'll end up being actually sort of like relevant to our environment and important to maintain the health of the species. But when it comes to him spending his senatorial time or his staffer's time on coming up with this dumb limerick, essentially, this is one of the most embarrassing things. You wonder why Rand Paul gets beat up. And really, the real question is, why doesn't he get beat up more by his neighbors?
I mean, look at that smug mug. Sorry, this is not in the holiday spirit, but like, woo.
I don't know these things because I'm Jewish. I never really, we didn't like, but is this like a tradition where you put your own words in this? And also, is he saying it wrong? Because it doesn't sound like any of it like fits, but.
This is not a tradition, I don't think.
Oh, God. Listen to this.
'Twas the week before Christmas, and through the Senate and House, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The earmarks were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The senators were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of pork danced in their heads.
Pause it. Okay, this is what's driving me crazy. Like, danced in their heads, or quiet as a mouse. Like,
they barely change anything.
Are you supposed to? Well, first off, they barely changed anything. But isn't there supposed to be a rising intonation at the end of these things? Not like sort of like I can't believe I'm doing this. This is really depressive. Like, not even a mouse.
Yes, you're supposed to be a little bit whimsical. A creature was
stirring, not even a mouse. Like that.
As opposed to not even a mouse.
Well, yeah. I mean,
It deflated.
Yeah, it's like he seems so defeated at the end of all these limericks. Like, I can't believe I made it through this one. It's so bad.
And it's also, if it's meant to be like skewering government spending, I don't understand why the tone of it is in the spirit of like this whimsical Christmas poem. It doesn't make any sense.
Also, how about not wasting government funds on doing this, you ding dong?
This is called pork.
It was the night before Christmas, and can you believe these Dems?
Here we go.
Was found just mischief and debt, while the taxpayers hung their poor heads and wept. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, senators sprang from their oxygen. What was the matter? Away to the window they flew like a flash, tore open the shutters when they heard the word cash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a 4,000-page omni with endless debt year after year. With a little old driver, so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now McConnell, now Schumer, now Pelosi and Vixen.
Oh, here we go.
On Biden, on Stupid, on Dumber and Blitzen.
What?
To debt,
They
to bankruptcy, to free money for all. Now dash away, more cash for all. And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As the economy threatened to run aground, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of earmarks he had flung on his back, an appropriator's dream opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled.
Pause it. I will say this. I do appreciate the fact that Santa is a villain in this. I mean, he's a villain. He's a villain. Christmas is an evil thing, he's saying. And, I can sort of get behind that a little bit. I guess the idea is he's trying to make it seem like the economy is going to crash because of the $1.7 trillion appropriations.
Yeah, that's
we've never been able to draw that. We've never quite been able to connect those two things. That's never happened. Although, if you look back at every time we have had a recession, it is been either a function of the private sector over leveraged, right? Like the financial crisis, or we have come too close to having a surplus in the government budget, because we know this from Stephanie Kelton. When the government has a surplus, there's a fixed amount of money. I mean, it can grow, but at any given moment, there's a fixed amount of money. Mm-hmm. And if there's a government surplus, that means that there's less money in the private sector. If there's a government debt, that means that there's more money in the private sector. That's it.
Yeah, it's like people react to the spending bills like it's making this library in this X town. It's like, yeah, who do you think that money's going to pay? That's going into people's pockets.
There's gonna be librarians, and then people are gonna be able to go to the library.
And like the people who are gonna build it, like
Yeah.
The issue with the money that goes to the defense manufacturers and defense industry, it's not that the money is being spent. It's that it's going into the wrong hands. It's going into very wealthy people's hands. And to the extent that it's doing anything, it's building stuff that will add really they are almost like definitionally non-investments in the future, because when they get deployed, they explode and
Right.
leave nothing but destruction.
Yeah. And also the money that goes to the Pentagon, we have no real oversight as to where it goes. The Pentagon's been audited multiple times, and they fail every single time on like where they allocate that money.
But he also has a problem with it going to anything that helps people too. But let's listen to two more, like maybe not even a minute, another 20 seconds.
This is tough.
we're not even halfway done.
I know. I can't believe it.
When I saw that it was over 4 minutes on the sound,
you
I took a
think
deep breath.
There's about 30 seconds that's just like a disclaimer at the end.
How many people do you think in the world got through all 3.5, 4 minutes of this?
Like the 8 people on the staff.
You did?
Yeah,
It's his job.
I had to watch.
Somebody's bucking for like hazard pay.
Dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. This spending season, instead of naughty and nice, Santa brought everyone something, regardless of price. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head, he said not to worry, there's always the Fed. He spoke not a word. And
Okay, yeah.
This is demonic
This is like-
Santa.
His tone is like a guy who like walks into the ocean afterwards.
I don't understand this. I just don't understand like the inclination. I don't understand like the theory
It's
behind
content,
it.
baby. Just get some content out there.
And it just hits different after the pandemic when they actually did hand out cash and people really liked it.
Unbelievable.
Free cash for all sounds really good, actually.
Yeah, it does.